Okay, hi everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Returning subscribers, new acquisitions. Well, I shouldn't refer to people as acquisitions, my acquisitions, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Anyway, today I'm going to do another classical music haul, thrifting haul. Now, the last one I did, do check the link below for a link to that classical music thrifting haul. It did very, very well. I was very impressed, very happy with that. So I thought I would do another one. Now, today it's a little bit different. It's primarily, or only, I should say, only cassette tapes that I have thrifted at the local thrift shops. So I've got it here. My bag of thrifted cassette tapes. If you will listen to that lovely crinkle, I hope that gives you the ASMR aesthetic that you're looking for today. So why don't we just start right away without any further introduction. I'm sorry, I should speak into the microphone. Let's start right away without any further introduction. Okay, so let's just grab the first one that comes out. Okay, now can you see that? Is that framed all right? Okay, so this is Groffé, Grand Canyon Suite, and also Copland, El Salon, Mexico. Well, I'm not sure about Groffé. He sounds kind of French, but Copland is an American composer. So what do we have here? XDR, Extended Dynamic Range. So that means the cassette should sound pretty good. Let's see if we can see what type of tape. Just show you what it looks like inside there. No indication that it's a Type 2 tape. It's got Dolby noise reduction, Dolby B, I assume. Safe to say. Copyright 1978. And kind of this interesting off mustard color on the shell there. Anyway, I'm not really a fan of American composers, even English composers for the most part. Don't really float my boat, if you know what I'm saying. Groffé, I don't know. He sounds French. We'll see what that sounds like. All right, so here is a composer that I'm familiar with and I do like. I do like Prokofiev, Russian composer, early 20th century. Early 20th century tends to be the period, say late 19th, early 20th century, the period that I like the most, from say like 1890 to 1930-ish. I find there's a lot of works that appeal to me, appeal to my aesthetic sensibilities in that period. Okay, so this one is an Angel cassette, that's the record label, Angel Master Series, and it's equipped with Dolby HX Pro, which my tape deck is compatible with. It will take advantage of that. It means headroom extension system. Looking inside, can you see that? Kind of an off-white, beigey, off-beige, pale beige kind of color on the shell there. Quite nice, and looks like it's never been touched really. It's just in mint, absolute mint condition. What else can I see on here? Concerto number 2 in G minor and number 3 in C. Great stuff. I'll give that a listen. I'm sure I'll enjoy that one. Okay, next we have Deutsche Grammophon Favorite, the Favorite series. I've never heard of that. I've heard of the Privilege series. I think there was one called Resonance, which was, I'm living in Canada, so they were usually pressed in Canada. I assume they were kind of a lower cost option to get your Deutsche Grammophon LPs or cassettes. But I really love their aesthetic with that thing, and I think I will use that as my in my thumbnail, my intro screen again, like I did last time, an homage to the brand, to the record label. Anyway, this is classical guitar works from Bach, Scarlatti, Giuliani, Sor, and others, performed by Narciso Yepes. I have some of his works on LP as well, so that should be a great listen. See what kind of specs we have on the cassette. And in usual Deutsche Grammophon style, just great aesthetics on the shell there. Great design work, beautiful. That yellow with kind of the gray shell, it's just absolutely lovely. And yeah, I noticed this is made in Canada. I don't know if it's focusing, but made in Canada. So maybe this is another one of these kind of lower cost series, plural series. Not series as plural is series as well as singular. Yeah, so that should be good. Dolby system, no mention of Type 1 or Type 2. We'll see. We'll see if we got some Type 2s in the bag. I'm not sure. I bought these quite a while ago, probably over a year ago, just haven't got around to filming this video, so I don't remember quite what's in there, really. Actually, I've completely forgotten what's in there, to be perfectly honest. I hope we have some Type 2s. They're always fun. Okay. Oh, here we go. Type 2. This is a Deutsche Grammophon number as well, and this is in the series Walkman Classics. And I really think these are kind of cool, kind of co-branded with Sony. The Walkman was very popular in the early 80s and, well, up until the 90s, till CDs took over, really. So again, Narciso Yepes again, except he's playing Spanish guitar music, which should be incredible. So let's turn it around and see what else is on there. So we've got works by Tarrega, Sor, Rodrigo, Granados, Albanez, Segovia, Villalobos, etc., etc. And like it mentions, it's on Type 2 chromium dioxide tape. And looking in there at the shell, can you see that? The shell? Beautiful, beautiful, as per usual with Deutsche Grammophon. And this one is made in Germany, West Germany, if you can see it down there. It's kind of covered up. Okay, so hopefully I don't ramble on too much, as is my wont. I think I've only got about half power in my camera, so it may cut off suddenly at the end, so just a heads up. Next one. This is RCA Victrola, which is interesting. I've never seen that label on a cassette before. I've seen it kind of, it was, I think it was something good maybe in the 50s, but then in, say, late 60s, 70s, it was kind of the lower cost series of RCA. And then I presume this cassette is from the 80s, 1988, so the status of that brand, Victrola, I'm not quite sure what it was at that point, but it looks like a pretty simple, kind of the design makes me think it was a lower cost series as well. So this is a classic Rimsky-Korsakov, one of the Russian Five, Scheherazade, classic work, great piece, and it's performed by the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, conducted by Leopold Stokowski. Inside, nothing to write home about, just a simple white shell, and yeah, pretty boring really, the aesthetic, but I'll give that a listen. Type 1 tape, I assume, and Dolby noise reduction on there. Okay, moving along. Seraphim is the record label of this one, and this was a lower cost series of the Angel record label. Now this one does have the Dolby HX Pro, again, headroom extension, so it should sound pretty good. I believe it's just a Type 1 tape. Now this is Bizet Symphony in C. Now I'm not sure if I've actually heard this. Kind of he's most famous for Carmen. So we'll give that a listen, see how that sounds later on. Then another nice beige shell there, but very simple budget release. Next one, I quite like the aesthetic on this one. It's very 80s, very 80s. This is an EMI release, Sanson, if that's how you pronounce it, something like that. And if you notice down here, it is a Type 2 chromium dioxide tape, 79 minutes. Get your money's worth on that. Quite lovely 80s aesthetic, like I say. It's also got the Dolby HX Pro, which is good. I believe this one should sound quite nice, actually, on my tape deck. I've got a Sony ES tape deck, which is quite nice. And look at that great labeling on the shell there. Clear shell. Love this kind of matte finish, frosted finish at the bottom. Lovely. Just a great design. Very 80s, but beautiful. Nostalgic, if you will. And I just want to see where this one is made. Might be England. Oh, it's actually made in France. Can you see it there? By Pathé Marconi. That's quite cool. Something interesting for the collection. Hope my battery's doing okay. Okay, next is another Seraphim release. This one is Falla El Amor Brujo, which is actually one of my absolute favorite classical works. Great piece. It's like a symphonic suite with vocal pieces interspersed in there. Quite beautiful and very powerful work. And also on here is Ravel, Rhapsody Espagnole, and Pavin for a Defunct Infant. I really don't like that work. It's so cloyingly saccharine, bittersweet kind of sound feel to it. I really don't like it, so I will skip that portion of it. Again, Dolby HX Pro, which is nice, and just a very basic shell there. And made in Canada, I assume, on this one. Yeah, made in Canada. Okay, next we've got another Seraphim one, actually. And I might mention these are all in beautiful condition. Now, I actually bought all of these at the same thrift store. There were just a ton of classical cassettes there one day. So it must have been a collector, and it looks like they're absolutely mint. Not listened to much, or else it was just a collector like myself who just really is respectful of the music and the carrying devices, the physical formats. Okay, so what do we got here? We got some more Rimsky-Korsakov, Dolby, but not Dolby HX Pro this time. Mussorgsky, Night on Bald Mountain, great work, and Borodin, Polovtsian Dances, another great work. So, a bunch of Russian 5 pieces, kind of some of their most famous ones. Black plastic cassette. That's about that, made in Canada. Okay, we're about a third of the way through. Hopefully my battery will hold on for me. Okay, another one of these great Walkman Classics, CRO2 tapes, 85 minutes, that's pretty good. So we got Mozart and Haydn. I usually don't listen to music from this period, just doesn't really do much for me. Generally, I like Baroque music, but after that up until, like mid to late 19th century, when the Russian Five were doing their thing, that's kind of where it starts to interest me again, and then especially, like I said earlier, early 20th century is my favorite. But it was a beautiful piece. I love these Walkman Classics. Beautiful condition. Interesting sticker on the back there. I haven't seen that before. Made in Canada. And beautiful Deutsche Grammophon aesthetic there. I'll give that a shot. See if, as I'm aging, see if my tastes are becoming more in tune to the classical period. Next one, we've got Haydn and Bach. This is an Erato release. The Bonsai series, I actually have one of this series on compact disc. A different one, can't remember what. Concertos for Organ. Erato is a French label. And it looks like it's a Type 2 tape, which is nice. Very simple, basic shell there. And it's actually made in the USA, of all places. Oh, I think it's one of the Bach sons, actually, not the famous Bach, but the less famous Bach. There, so give that a shot later on. Next, here's an interesting one. This is actually produced by the CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, I guess it's called. Generally, I'm averse to kind of Canadian content, you know what I'm saying? But I quite like the aesthetic of this one, actually. And we've got Charles Avison, Concerto Grossi after Scarlatti, by the Tafel Music Baroque Orchestra. Lovely aesthetic on this one, actually. Good work, CBC. Made in Canada, as expected. Plain black shell there. And it's also a Type 2 tape, which is good. So actually looking forward to giving that a listen. Moving along. Here's an interesting one, Stratos. Not a label that I see very often. The Classical Flute, Mozart, Haydn, Gluck. I don't really like Mozart never really did much for me. Like I said before, but I won't go on and on. Oh, actually it's Telefunken Teldec. So this Stratos is maybe just a series from Telefunken, the German label. Could be Austrian for all I know, but simple gray cassette with an off gray label there. Quite nice. Pretty basic looking. I'm assuming it's kind of a low-cost series from Telefunken. Next, we've got Vivaldi, whom I love, a Philips labeled cassette, a nice green aesthetic going on there. Living Baroque is the series. We've got some these cherubish kind of creatures on the front. Oh, this is quite nice. Looks black, but I think it's actually a very dark green, which is nice. Made in Holland on the label there. Copyright 1980. Quite nice. Continuing on. Really hoping my battery lasts. Usually I have a tendency to kind of talk on and on unbelievably long in these videos that I make, so see how long it lasts today. This one is Trumpet Voluntary, music for trumpet and organ. Philips A Touch of Classics. Looks like kind of a lower cost series again. Simple black shell, very basic labeling on there. Made in Canada, Dolby system, Type 1 tape, digitally remastered. Kind of a nice look to it, but nothing special. All right, getting down to our last three. It looks like we'll be able to get through to the end today. Now here's a nice one. It's the standard Deutsche Grammophon series. It's a digital recording, as you can see in the top corner there, and it is on a Type 2 chromium dioxide tape. Now this is Mozart piano concertos. Can't believe I bought so many of these Mozart ones. I guess it was just because of the aesthetic that I picked these out. Plus they were 25 cents each, so can't go wrong. Beautiful shape. I'll give the old Mozart another chance. Try to keep an open mind, open ears. Claudio Abbado. And you can see right through the clear shell there. This is made in Germany, as generally the standard Deutsche Grammophon ones were made in Germany, and then the lower cost series were generally made in the country where the market was supposed to be. So Canada, for instance, I've seen them, England, Spain, etc. Quite nice. Digital stereo. Okay, another one of these great Walkman Classics on a CRO2 tape. And yeah, we've got Vivaldi, some concertos there. Some concertos there. Looks like my camera just turned off, so. Sometimes it does that when I hit 25 minutes of rambling. It kicks me off. So hopefully that wasn't my battery that made it turn off. I think it's recording again. So back to this one, Vivaldi and Handel. So some Baroque pieces. Oh, little piece of a recorder on there. That's cute. You can see on the back there. And this one is made in Canada. I do see some of these Walkman Classics made in Germany, some made in Canada. Maybe they were kind of a mid-range series or something like that, but I really do love the look. Very nostalgic, very aesthetic look. And CRO2 tape is always nice. And the last one, another Walkman Classics, and this one, oh, this is absolutely great. Rodrigo, Concerto de Aranjuez, and a couple more. I love Rodrigo, and again, De Falla, but this one is a different one, Nights in the Gardens of Spain, which I don't quite like as much as El Amor Brujo, but it's a good piece. Good piece. Beautiful. Love these Walkman Classics. This one is made in Canada again, same kind of aesthetic, beautiful piece, and great music on this one. Can't wait to listen to that. 89 minutes, good value for 25 cents, I have to say. Oh, and I've actually got my receipt for that as well, if you can see that. So that whole hashtag haul only set me back by $3.50 Canadian funds at that. So quite a great, inexpensive haul of some fabulous music, some mediocre music as well, but that's just my opinion and my taste that's speaking. I shouldn't really make that kind of a judgment, really. But anyway, looks like we got through and my battery lasted. I'm happy about that. So if you like this video, please click the like button, the thumbs up button, give that a click. Subscribe, of course. I've been saying it for years and years. Subscribe. Just subscribe. I don't know why I still have to keep on saying it, but you're just not subscribing to the channel. But yeah, you know, you win some, you lose some. Anyway, beyond subscribing, if you could follow me on Twitch, Tumblr, Tinder, and TikTok as well, that would really make me happy. So if there are any suggestions you want to make, just drop a comment down below. Tell me if you like this kind of thing, if you want to see more videos like that, etc. So it looks like I wrapped this one up a lot quicker than I thought I would. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.